Dr. Christopher Kit Green. There you go. Get into some interesting things.
Really? He was working with Kit Green?
He was his mentor, apparently.
What?
That's what I heard. And Kit Green went to bat for him in a couple of statements where people were asking why Jolly did what he was doing. And yeah, Kit Green was involved with that. He's the one that was doing those brain scans on people who were getting directed energy weapons, allegedly shot at them on Skinwalker Ranch. The guy that leaked that to me was one of the guards on Skinwalker Ranch, Chris Bartell.
And me.
Oh, really? He gave you this book?
Leaked it to me, and I'm not sure. Yeah. I never came public with that because I didn't know if it was disinformation they were trying to get me with, because I come out with too much before that.
Sure.
They put me under surveillance. That came along with a PDF that had a virus on it, so I could only imagine they were
I went under surveillance too.
Get access to my computer. Yeah. So it's like, it's disinformation.
They put you under surveillance?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we went out to Mount Wilson Ranch, where Bustamante went out to.
Yeah.
And we went out with Carl Crusher, went out to Mount Wilson Ranch. They tried to get me to kind of go along with their being let off into left field with their stories. And
who brought you out there?
Me.
So I got the invite. So I released videos about the guys that were getting brain damage at Skinwalker Ranch. Bartell was one of them, but you had the guy, Tom Winterton, that was on the Search for Skinwalker Ranch show. Yeah. He came with the big goose egg on his head. I did a video on that, and it triggered the shit out of the people at Skinwalker Ranch. To this day, I re-released the video a couple months ago, and Brandon Fugel tried to do a big, damage control comment in the comments of that video because I released something they didn't want released. Okay. So then they wove in with a content creator from YouTube to contact me and say, hey, I'd love to do something with you. We can go to the mountains.
Nobody asked me to do that. I just wanted your help, dude.
I was intimately working with Brandon Fugel at the time, who owns Skinwalker Ranch, talking to him all the time. And I'm like, okay, I didn't know the guy's history. This is Carl Crusher. I don't want to get into that relationship or anything, but we had to shut that down after some seedy stuff.
What?
But they had me go out to the
what
ranch.
What seedy stuff? What the fuck are you talking about, dude?
On the ranch. I did a lot of research into what was going on there with, there's a company that put the instrumentation in at Skinwalker Ranch, Sarah, Dr. Richard Dickout, and Dr. Tim Rinn, who were putting equipment on Skinwalker Ranch and Mount Wilson Ranch. Not equipment to monitor high strangeness, equipment to fuck with the human mind, non-lethal weapons and psychotronic weaponry. And it looked more and more to me like they had been experimenting on the staff at these ranches. And one of them was Chris Bartell. Well, I'm out there, and this pops up there. I woke up. We were all staying in Carl's house. I went outside, and they're looking at this on the computer, and it's like, what is this? And they're like, oh, yeah, we'll send you a copy of it, whatever. And they sent me a copy and had a virus on it. And I go looking through it. It looks like it's 50-50 mixed, neuroscience that would hook me in with UFO shit that there is no way to validate whether or not that's real. But a lot of the
100% true.
Like
I have no idea.
Names I could research and different things that could hook me in, and then the rest was I couldn't validate it, so I wouldn't release that. But I think they were hoping I would go along with it and push that out to the public and push that as like an MJ.
You just handed a copy to Danny that is published with a binder on it. Like, what you did publish it.
Met with the guys from History Channel on an expedition to that ranch, and it was like, this is not real. they're pushing nonsense here.
So what did you mean?
It didn't happen.
They put you under surveillance?
Literally, they were watching all my social media, texting me constantly, tried to put they had my phone numbers. I would get random texts and such when I put a video out to say like, hi, things like that, and it was coming from a Utah number.
I did too. I got those too.
Yeah, that's
I even got phone calls, random phone calls.
Interesting. It's going to take a lot more than that to shut me the fuck up.
Yeah. The Skinwalker Ranch thing's super interesting.
Yeah.
They talk about that a little bit on the Mirage Men documentary.
Yeah, I watched that coming down on the flight. Actually.
Did you?
I rewatched it for you. I saw it years ago.
We talked about it on the phone when we first spoke.
Yeah.
But in that documentary, they claimed that they were basically there was some sort of operation where they were doing subterranean nuclear blasts, trying to like frack for oil.
Yeah, Plowshare and Gas Buggy.
Right, yeah. Gas Buggy. I remember that one. And I guess they were trying to test for nuclear contamination in like the vegetation and the livestock. So they were trying to cut out specific.
Hi, yeah, it is me, Carl Crusher, the one that Brent Stone is talking about in that whole section about Mount Wilson. The only thing is that he said that it got really seedy and then they had to end the operation there, and none of that actually happened. What happened was when we actually got down to the nitty gritty and we were looking for what we thought was like a buried UFO or something weird under the ground at Mount Wilson in Nevada, when we actually started getting close to it and figuring it out, like in the mix of that, when we started uncovering those patents and the potential that it could involve like Howard Hughes and DARPA and MK Ultra, you ran home and like quit, and you quit helping us figure it out. As soon as you saw that it could be that and it wasn't UFOs, it's like you got scared and quit helping me solve the mystery. And I stayed for like another year and a half until the owners ran out of money and asked me not to come back anymore. Nothing seedy happened at all. We were following through with the research, trying to figure out what was transmitting anomalous signals from underground at the ranch. And we were doing everything from meditations. We were bringing up ladies to do seances. We had ground penetrating radar. We were bringing in explosives experts and trying to access tunnel systems to get into it underground. None of us knew what the fuck was going on. We were all trying to figure it out. And when you realized and uncovered the same stuff that I did at the same time, and we all were like, holy shit, what if this involved Howard Hughes and his relationship with that Mormon guy, Frank Gay, and how they had some deal through Benny Binions and the guy that originally owned that property, and maybe it had something to do with them burying equipment under the ranch. Like, I had no fucking idea that was going on either, man. So anyway, the only thing that is different is that Brent thinks that I'm a Fed. As soon as we ran into the fact that it could involve MK Ultra, like phased array systems from the Sarah project, from Tim Ryan, and when Bigelow's team was up there, and with all of those guys with Kit Green, like, we were figuring all that out together. And I thought we were going to stand side by side, and we were go into the gates of Mordor, and we were going to, as a team, try to defeat that enemy and defeat that dragon and dig up the evil machine. And if it was a UFO or some relic government science equipment buried underground, we were supposed to dig it up and figure that out together. And the thing is when we started running into the dirty side of it, you got scared and went home and started accusing me, I guess, of being a Fed. I don't know. It's understandable though. He's honestly, everything that he said in that video, he has every right to believe that. He has every right. And honestly, when you're going to go to places like that and start poking around these mysteries, the reason a lot of people can't do it, and the reason a lot of people quit and they run the other way, is because as soon as they run into like MK Ultra, or as soon as they get there and somebody from the CIA like Andrew Bustamante shows up, it freaks them out and they don't have the balls to see it through, and they go home and they can't do it, you know. But I'm telling you right now, dude, if you called me, I would love to work with you again. And like, I am not one of those guys. I was trying to go in there with you and to uncover whatever the hell was there and figure it out. And I was counting on you to be like my brother because you're so smart and talented. But anyway, that's what happened. If Danny Jones or the Concrete Podcast wants me on the show to give my side of the story, I'm totally happy to do that.